You don't even look human when you're doing that. And we're doing an awesome job for an awesome customer. But this is gonna be the biggest patio I've done this year. We're just excavating with the skid steer. We don't need a mini on this one. Found a line, huh, bud? Hey.
Hey.
What's up, dude? Man, is this a big area. There's our pavers. There's 3 pallets on there. So I use my screed rails to find my grade height. Slope, pitch. I try to mix the words in just to confuse you guys. This is what we usually use compared to this. Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, September 19th, 2023. New day, new job, beautiful job site. I mean, look at this. We're on just a nice quiet cul-de-sac and we're doing an awesome job for an awesome customer. This was a viewer of the channel. That's how he contacted me. Lives within 25 minutes of where I live. Found that out. Here we are. Got some plywood set up. That's all I have. I need to buy a few more sheets, but we use what we got. I should protect at least about 30 feet of turf right there, and it'll protect the driveway. Machine's still looking pretty. Benny's stretching out. Que paso, muchacho? Buenos dias. I gotta do that for the Mexican fans. Joey, if you're watching, you know who you are. He's gonna get me, dude. I just did a Joey call out.
It'll be his favorite episode ever.
That's a stretch, dude. Look at me when you're doing that. You don't even look human when you're doing that, bro.
Putting my chin to my chest. Good tricep stretch.
Hey.
Amazing, actually.
Listen, man. You're in peak physical form. Other than your lungs.
Not anymore.
Other than your lungs, that's it. Everything else, fine.
Yeah, also average.
Here we are. They had a oval pool previously above ground, and then there was a little deck that connected that to it. So we got a bunch of sauna tubes and concrete, and then obviously we're gonna have some sand where the pool was. But this is gonna be the biggest patio I've done this year, and also the biggest patio I've done since being in business for myself. Going on 2.5 years being in business, this is the biggest size patio. I've done bigger, but for companies that I worked for when I was younger. So I'm really excited for this one, and it's really cool. It's gonna be based off the design, if you've watched my channel, that we did the beginning of this season. It's made with Genest pavers. Grand Katahdin is what they're called, and then we got a double border around it. So we're going to be coming off of that deck about 4 feet, 5 feet, going over, and then around here somewhere we're going to pop out maybe 5-6 feet and go straight over past this garage about, I think 12 feet I think is the design. I got to check it out, but then it's going to connect all over here. So I got to mark this whole area out with paint and get it nailed in so we can start excavating. We're just excavating with the skid steer. We don't need a mini on this one. And the really good thing is all the soil we're just leaving right on site here. It really dips down into the woods back here. So we're gonna fill in that gully with all the dirt that we take out of here and just kind of push it back and level it off to lift this up a little bit. That helps save you a lot of money on an install like this. If you have somewhere to lose the fill on your property, that's the way to go, always. So the grade's a little funky here. We got a lot of grades to shoot. This is kind of the same height as the bottom of the siding over there. So what our goal is gonna be is to lift this side up a bit and lift this side up a bit. The way we're gonna do it is build a 1 step up wall over in front of the garage, and then when we get to the end of the house or somewhere around there, we're gonna build a L-shaped sitting wall, because the grade's gonna be higher in there than it is right here. So that wall is gonna help retain the grade on the inside and act as a sitting wall. Be perfect. So there's not many obstacles as far as what's underneath here. They do have irrigation, but I don't think it runs through the area where the porch was and the pool was. But around the edges, we're probably gonna have to be a little bit careful of that. This is one spot we're gonna have to be. Irrigation head over here. We don't know where it matches in, but we gotta come off of this. Don't know how well you guys can see this, but this is just a rough bird's eye drawing of the design. A few things did change. This, he wanted to pop out a little bit more. So we're gonna come off this walkway and we're gonna pretty much come over and meet this area. And it's just gonna be one big rectangle. This area over here, the paver is gonna run along the siding. And then we're gonna start that one block high step up right by the garage door in the back. And it's gonna be a step up onto the patio. And as you come down the side of the garage, it's gonna be a step up onto the patio as well. So this is 10 feet off of the house. There's going to be a 4-foot area where you can step up onto the patio. And then there's going to be 6 feet of sitting wall. And then another 10 to 12 feet of sitting wall on this side. And that's going to help hold back the patio and help us lift the side up so the water can drain towards the backyard. So the measurement from the house to here was 25 feet. But again, when we get here, we're going to pop out anywhere from 4 to 6 feet depending on how it lays out. So it could go up to like 30 feet off of the house and then come over again and just meet over into here. So that's how I'm going to mark it out. Obviously giving myself about 8 inches extra for excavation around all sides. So off the house here, from the wheel to the middle where it starts measuring is like 6 inches, 6-8 inches. So when we get to that 25-foot mark, that's going to account for our excavation as well. Yeah, you're probably pretty decent there. We'll call
Maybe a little bit more.
We'll call this one, we'll do 23 over here to the center. This would have been what I quoted to pop out. What's 30 look like? 30's deep. What about like 28? This is 28. That's right on the line of the sonotubes, right? And then he said the irrigation's running on the outside of that, so that's probably the move.
Really good. Yeah.
All right, so 28. This is also like 6 to 8 inches further than where the patio needs to be, so somewhere like that. Okay, there's our corner mark. Right there. Makes sense. So for a rough excavation, using a measuring wheel is fine, but once you go to start laying in spikes and stuff like that, you need to use a measuring tape. But for just digging purposes, should be fine. Because honestly, even where I make this mark, you got 8 to 10 inches of play really. Yeah, so this is going to be going pretty much right down the center of those sonotubes. Found a line, huh, bud?
Did.
There's one right there. Would have scooped right into that, dude. I would have been like, hey, I'll try to get as close to the deck as I can. Scoop! Boom! Ripped it all up. So that's coming from under the deck. going that way. I bet that's the one he's talking about. It's gonna run right along here. So it's not even worth going over that extra foot, dude, just to mess up the entire irrigation. No.
Don't even have to mess with it. That's very nice.
Yeah. All right, guys, I don't have much memory on this camera, unfortunately, with my card. So it's gonna be mostly time lapses today, but hope you enjoy the video. Paper stuck to your foot, dude. Hey.
Hey.
What's up, dude? We are excavated. We're probably anywhere from 9 to 11 inches, and in a few spots probably like 12 inches. Down over on this side here. And we got a really nice sandy and gravel subsoil, which is excellent for drainage. Never gonna have water issues under this patio, especially with the open grade base we're about to install. And man, is this a big area. So you guys saw the irrigation line that was over here yesterday. I'm glad that we ripped it out after we hand dug everything.
Yeah, I know, right?
But anyway, we cut a middle section out. We've folded it back on this side and on that side, and the irrigation guy is going to reroute it around the patio. Customer would like it out from under the patio so that if there's ever any issues, not going to have to worry about it. Found it in a couple other spots, so the irrigation guy is going to be doing the same thing here. He's going to have to reroute it around the outside. And then over here as well, I actually hit this one with the corner of my bucket. Nothing crazy, but so he's probably gonna end up putting that around it as well. Then there will be no irrigation or anything under the patio. It'll be all set. And I'm also gonna exchange that drain right there. It's kind of filled with dirt and stuff. So I'm gonna cut it back over there, pull that out, prep it the way we usually do, put the fabric down, and then put the new perforated drainage pipe on top of the fabric and route it back over here the same way he had it. So that's it. It's all the obstacles in our way. Now it's just textbook backfill from here on out. Thin layer, 3/4, compact fabric, and then fill up to height. We're not gonna do the whole area. We're gonna go about halfway so that we can prep that, backfill it, screed and lay pavers up to halfway. That way I can get in and out of here and still make a mess. I'll have a spot to turn around here, at which point we'll just fix later before we continue on off the patio. So that's where we're at. Got a trailer full of pavers, and we're hoping to get some of those laid today. So let's just get right into the day. Ben Nay, you red day?
Red day.
Cool. Fabrico. Hey, might as well show them while we're here. For those who don't know, this is the fabric I always use. SRW Products, SS5, 6 foot by 100 foot roll. There's all your applications. You can pause it and read if you want. But it's designed for paver installs. Helps stabilize the base. When you're using clean stone like we do, or open grade base, it's a necessity to keep the soil separated from the clean stone for that system to do its job the right way. POP, proper execution of plan. That's what it's all about. Dude, I got corrected, bro, on a short I made. Yeah. I never even knew it because I'm not a plumber. These aren't gas pipes, dude.
What are they?
A couple people like, ha! You should learn the specs of the pipes before you install them. I'm like, what do you think? I'm installing gas underneath my patio? I'm using them to screed off of. But they're water pipes, not gas. Sorry to all you plumbers out there. I've been calling them gas pipes. They're not. I don't know.
I'm glad they don't use that for irrigation.
So we got our steel water pipes. I don't even like saying that, dude. But now I got it because I was corrected. Plywood held up great over the other side that we were driving over to dump the soil. No issue, no turf damage. But there will be a little bit here. I don't have enough plywood to get all the way over there. But 75% of the area that we drive over is going to be fine, which is a good thing. Throw a little bit of stone there next time. So I got 2 piles of stone here. I got one delivery that's 8 cubic yards on the right, and that's 3 cubic yards on the left. So we got 11 total. That's definitely, we're gonna definitely need more, but it's a good start. There's our pavers. Got 3 pallets on there. It's honestly a little too heavy. My trailer's overweight right now. Look at the things you end up doing as a YouTuber. Benny, what do you think about when you're just sitting here working and you see me doing dumb stuff like this to set up cameras, dude? I love it, dude. Bang, bang. Oh, look at that connection. Huh. Time to compact. Time to compact. There's arguments about this fabric, whether woven, non-woven is better. This is woven, meaning you have strips of plastic going vertical and horizontal with each other. And when you backfill it with stone and it gets all crushed, all these pieces, these woven strips open up and water goes through it, no problem. I and hundreds of contractors have been using this fabric and open grade base method for years now. No issue with water going through this fabric. People always say that there's an issue with it, but there just is not an issue with water going through this fabric. And it's so much stronger than a cloth, non-woven fabric. I can't tell you how many times I've picked up non-woven cloth fabric and the dirt got through because the actual pores of that non-woven fabric are so large. That's why they say water travels through it better. Yeah, but so does dirt, and it clogs easier. This fabric separates soil perfect, and water travels through it no problem. What do you think, Pops?
I think you're doing a hell of a job, kid. Oh,
What?
no. You hit something?
No, I bought them like that.
That was Paul that did that?
Yeah. I showed you where I hit the machine though, right?
Yeah, Travis couldn't wait to tell me.
I'm sure. He loves telling people my mistakes.
Yeah, he does.
Loved it.
It's alright though, he's learning from the best.
These are like the heaviest pallets I'll ever get for pavers.
Yeah.
They put a lot of square footage on these ones.
There's more.
124 square feet in these.
These are not the big patio blocks?
No, not the big ones. No.
They're all the same size?
Yeah. No, there's 3 pieces. So it's square, big rectangle, small ones. But it weighs 3,460 pounds. It's a lot of weight. That's about the max on this thing before you start getting a little wobbly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost 2 tons, a little over 2 ton and a half.
That's all I needed this machine to be able to do. Pick up a pallet of pavers.
Yep.
It's the heaviest thing I needed to do.
And now you got it all with the bucket and everything else. And
Yeah.
you can use it as a snow removal kit.
Mm-hmm.
Just put it somewhere in some small plaza somewhere.
Yeah.
Go make yourself a month's worth of money in 2 storms or something, you know, and just leave it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I overloaded myself for this one, that's for sure.
Yeah.
This is
Well, the nice thing is, too, is you got to remember, and it won't have a problem. So these tires and suspensions are good for all of that, but you don't want to lead them into one.
yeah.
Because you will get a flat spot in the tire, trust me. You know, and to pull them off, pull the trailer or anything.
But the 3 of these together, that's 10,500. The max I'm supposed to put in there is 9,500.
That's their benefit as well.
Yeah.
It's still over. Yeah, good.
But that's about the max I'd want to put in it.
Yeah, otherwise, remember that guy we see with that little bobcat in the back of the trailer?
Yeah.
His tires around like that?
Yeah. The front tires are off the ground. You're just kind of doing a wheelie all the way home.
Axle trailer. Yeah. That'll work. That's how we used to go when we were younger.
Yeah.
Sure, that's all we got. Well, make it work.
Yeah, put it in there.
All right, we
Does
got
it fit? Yeah, it fits. Okay, we're looking pretty good. Wanted to show you guys kind of how I get my 3/4 to the right grade. I've discussed it in a few videos, but I wanted to go through it a little bit more thoroughly. So I use my screed rails to find my grade height and slope. I don't use a transit, I don't really use a string line and then measure down from it. I use these rails. And you've seen I just kind of rough rake this all out by eye, which experience really comes in key at that point. I've raked so much material out in my life that I can really get a close slope just by eye. And then you set your pipes in on top of it, hammer them in, and get your slope right everywhere. And if you're good, you're not too low or too high, that means this grade's all set to be compacted. And then after it's compacted, we put the pipes down again and we use our chipstone. And if a spot compacted, you know, 1/4 to 1/2 inch more than we expected, we can make up for that with the chipstone. That chipstone you can use 1 inch to 1.5 inches of. Those pipes that I use, water pipes, they're 1 inch interior, about 1 1.25 or so exterior, inch and 3/8 or something, and then I'll put up to like 1/4 to 1/2 inch of stone under those pipes at the most. Anything more than that, you should lift the pipes up, put more 3/4, and then check it again. That's what you do with this method. You put your pipes down, and the pipes are going to reveal how far off you are, whether you're high or low, and then you can make that correction. But those 4 pipes are all set. This is our benchmark right here, this corner. We need to meet those steps. That's the most important thing. I know there's going to be a step over there, but that 1 or 2 inch variance, we can figure that out when we get over there. So here's where we're starting. And like I've mentioned in a lot of videos, the height of that level is the same height as a paver that we use. Pretty much all the patio pavers we use. So you can gauge exactly where the top of your paver is going to be just with that level. So the customer has 7 3/4 to 8 inch steps right now on this deck here. To the top of that level, we have 6.5. The reason we want to do 6.5 is to make it an easy step up, but also we can't go too much lower than the grade of that grass, or else everything's just going to kind of sink in towards the patio. So that 6.5 inch mark is just fine, and you can see the top of the paver is going to be right on the top of that wood right there, and it'll just kind of conceal all of that. And from there, we got our 1/8 of a pitch out going towards the lawn, and then we're just going to take the level and go from pipe to pipe. You see me using my hammer to settle them in, and that's pretty much what you have to do. So we got 1/8 of a slope going the other way as well. And when we go over to this one, again, we got our 1/8 of a slope. And then those second set of rails, gotta check that again. And then there's our 1/8 of a slope. Slope, pitch. I try to mix the words in just to confuse you guys. But again, there's your 1/8. And when everything starts to line up like that, every way should just kind of be the same exact slope. So that's how I gauge it. Now I'm going to put one more pipe in the front over here, and if that's good, that means this entire section is good for compaction. Then I'll be able to take some more and work my way that way, and just go one little 6-foot section at a time, making sure that 3/4 is as close as possible, so that screeding goes very simply. So I hope that kind of makes it more clear of how I get to grade. Got about 6 inches of stone, which you only need to compact in one lift with this 3/4, which is a great thing. If you got more than 6 inches, you want to compact it in a couple lifts. Alright, I wanted to set this line up to show you guys, also double check. So that line is set to the top of the paver, with that level being the guide. I got it slightly above the level just so we can get a good read on it. So that got me really close. I'm going to double check it with a line level, and then we're going to know we're pretty decent or not. Try to go to the center of the line. That is very, very good. And then now that we know that is right there and we're good, we're going to check the height. So there's our gap right there. There's our 1/8 of a slope, and we are right at the height of the grass. Perfect. Tough part about that grade right there is that this area here is slightly lower than that spot over there. So that's why we have it pitching both ways. We have it coming this way and that way, so the water has two places to go, and those pavers are going to be as close to the height of the grass as possible while being slightly above it. So that's just kind of how I go about grading the 3/4 on all my patio projects. I've found in my career, the simpler your method, the better, the more efficient. To me, the most important thing is not the best laser level or tool you have. Get experience with a rake and get experience with grading that 3/4 to that right height as easy as possible with as little tools as possible. I've done hundreds of installs like this. Just a simple method. Keep it basic. String lines and string line levels work very good. All these fancy tools sometimes slow you down a bit in the process. It's a simple thing. Dig lower than that 8 to 10 inch mark. Unless you have bad soil, then you got to go a bit deeper. Then get yourself up to that height. Use those screed rails, and if you really got to get a good idea of the grade around you, just use those stakes, strings, string levels, tape measures, basic stuff. But you got to actually, think about it, put it to use. But the best way to learn this stuff is to just do it more and more repetition. More of those installs you do, the better you're gonna get each one. You're gonna learn something and you'll be able to apply it to the next project that you put your hands to. That's what I've been doing for probably 10 plus years now, doing hardscaping. So I gotta keep going this way, make sure that we're good with our height. If you're enjoying this video, hit that thumbs up. Let's get back into it. Beautiful property, beautiful property. I actually got a comment a while back. It said, wow, it looks like you never have any like tight situations or tough properties to deal with. I mean, I've definitely had my fair share. I used to work out in a lot more heavily populated area with more money, out a little bit more Midwest of Massachusetts, like Sudbury, Wayland, Weston, Natick, Shrewsbury, Boylston, Northborough. I used to work in those areas a lot, and things were a lot tighter. There wasn't many projects. You could do this, just bring the dirt and just dump it somewhere else on the property. There was nowhere to put it, so you always have to take stuff out. And those are tougher jobs, no doubt about it. But now that I own my business, I set up further east in Massachusetts, and it's a lot more open. The properties have more space typically. The roads aren't as heavily trafficked. That's the benefit of working and living in an area like that. It is a little bit more low-key, not as busy, less things to deal with. So anyway, I guess what I'm saying about that rant is that I've had a fair share of very tight, tough properties to deal with, but I haven't had so much working for myself because I'm in a good area, and I'm very, very thankful for that. I gotta get more 3/4 to do this section here. Ben's coming back with the new drainage pipe we're gonna put in, and then we can backfill over that as well. These pavers are gonna be higher than the siding, but we're gonna be putting, where that pipe goes, we're putting a 8-inch or so trench of just clean stone, and we're gonna leave the pavers off the house. That way there's plenty of room. You can backfill against siding like that. The water will just go straight down through the stone into that drainage pipe we're gonna put in down here, connect into this pipe, and he has that pipe going under the ground over to the woods, so that'll all connect in. So this 3/4 I bought, it's from down the street, material provider I don't usually use. This is their basic 3/4, and it is definitely dustier than the typical 3/4 that we get. This is what we usually use compared to this. So this isn't going to be horrible for drainage, but it's not going to be as good as the right over here. This was going to be for the drainage area. I'm not going to use it for the drainage area. I'm gonna go to the same place to get stone, but I'm gonna have to get a more expensive stone. It's they consider it a decorative stone, but it's much cleaner than that. So I'll have to have Ben get that instead. So I think I'm gonna start prepping out the other half of the area here so that we can get that to height. And I don't have to get that perfect. I can just get it to a point where I can drive on it and still bring in pallets of pavers and everything. But it's gonna be better to use on the other side, the base, where we're gonna compact into the soil. That'll be better for that. So that's the plan. Now everything from this rail over and around those steps is all set for compaction and chipstone. And now I can use the rest of that dirty stuff in here. I'm gonna leave that whole side open for a cleaner stone to put into it to bury the pipe with. Benny's back. Ho! There's nothing funner than getting people with that. Got 4 yards of chipstone on there. It's a little heavy, but we're far away from our chipstone source. Dude, how's the ride? Yeah, dude. Just saying. Far ride for the chipstone source. Thought we had more 90s, Ben. What happened to him? You steal him for your house?
Yeah, I use
Like, he hasn't given me a bonus in a while. I'm gonna take all his elbows. Anybody out there saying you can't run a hardscape company with a Ford F-250? You're wrong. Might not be as vast as some of these other companies. Takes us a little longer to get things done than some of the really well-established guys, but it gets done. It gets done. Bang. Chipstone, the best chipstone around too. I literally have not worked with better. Look at that, dude. It's so pure, bro. There's no dust in it. Granite too, crushed granite. It's key. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful material. This is like, I'd prefer a chipstone box than a sand box, dude. Like, I could play in this. I could lay in it, bro. I would lay in it. I know a lot of places do not have access to something like this, so I'm thankful for that. Good morning, everybody. What's up, bud?
Nothing much, dude. Nothing much.
You ready to just install a simple walkway?
Yeah. It's not gonna be a circle like it is up there, is it?
No, circle's
Straight?
going. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of this dude and just go straight. All right, so the next videos from this project is gonna be the front walkway, because the irrigation guy was actually coming back to do all the work around the patio before we finished the patio. So we wanted to let him do his thing. So we shifted focus to the front yard where we're replacing his old concrete paver walkway. But that's going to be the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know in the comments what you think. But you guys know the deal. Until the next one, God bless. Peace.